What the hell is going Sorry about this. We've had really bad technical issues, and that's not like us. But as we wait for Annette to make her good Canadian appearance, which she has right now, I just had her now. Hang on. Annette? Right, Annette seems to be frozen right now. But we can hear each other loud and clear, Dale.
Hi, Adam. Yes, I'm here.
And I'm here as well.
Okay, good. Well, I got your picture waiting for Annette.
I don't know, because the tech issues we had was I came onto StreamYard.
There we go.
And Annette couldn't hear me, but I could hear her.
Hi.
Can you hear me, Annette?
I can.
Okay, great.
Right. I'm going to get something straight here. I know I keep freezing, which I don't know why. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I keep freezing for some reason, but
your image keeps freezing, but your audio is good.
Right. Okay. Sorry about this. It'll be good for Spotify anyway. But first of all, happy Thanksgiving to our Canadian friend. Hence why I've got this Thanksgiving background.
I like it.
Nice.
Yes. I have got a Thanksgiving background. So for everyone that will be tuning on Spotify at some point, I've got a pumpkin here. I've got lanterns, or the other way around, whatever. So there you go. And I've got lights, beautiful autumn lights. So anyhow, us English people don't celebrate Thanksgiving, by the way. That's how morbid we are.
You're missing out on all the good turkey.
I know. But
and the pumpkin
Facebook
pie.
Do you know what? That is one thing I have never ever tried is pumpkin pie. I've never tried it.
That's so
I've
funny.
tried pumpkin, but I've tried pumpkin, but I've never tried pumpkin pie. I need to make one. But we've already got a Facebook user.
Very well, Annette. How are you?
I'm good. Sorry I interrupted you, Adam. I felt
It's
so
right.
rude not saying hi to Dale.
Yeah, it's okay. Dale's a big boy. Well, we've already got a Facebook user saying Happy Thanksgiving. I ain't got a clue who it is.
And it's World Mental Health Day, right?
It's World Mental Health Day, yes. Yes, which I have to bring it up. It's Miss Liz. Miss Liz is in the house. I have to bring it up. I have to bring it up. Yeah, I'm sorry about all the bad tech issues we're having, guys. It's you know what tech issues, technology is like. It's a beautiful thing. But I have to bring it up because it's October. It's not only Mental Health Day, but it's also young women's loss and young babies' loss of when mothers miscarry kids. So a big up to everyone when it comes to that. And we're here all behind all the mothers, which Annette has just disappeared as well. So I know Halloween's coming up. So if Annette wants to come play hide and seek, she's doing a very good job of it. So, Dale, self-belief. Now, we can be our own self-critic from time to time. I have certainly, and I know you have. But when you hear the words self-belief, what comes to you?
Well, we're also going to talk about doubt, and
Yes.
doubt is like a very, very big part of self-belief, and the more you doubt yourself, the less self-belief you'll have. But I've been doing a lot of research on this lately and everything, and self-belief is like tied up intimately with the self within, and the child within, and a lot of the self-esteem issues and self-belief issues that adults have begin with children, because they don't feel loved and everything, and that carries over into their adult life. And the thing that I was thinking about is that self-belief is like, for the mentally ill. I know you don't use that term, but for the mentally ill, self-belief is like a major problem, and you have to have self-belief before you can really begin the road to recovery from a serious diagnosis.
Absolutely, and I'm trying to add Annette here. There you go. So yeah. So basically, have you ever self-doubted yourself?
Well, one of the things of my major bestseller for the 20th century was Dale is like one of his driving forces, doubt. And just I mean, with my delusion about being God and everything, that was always tempered by a great amount of doubt. Like, how could I be? Even in my initial psychosis, when I was walking around Dartmouth College, it was a joke, because I would say I was God, and then I would see how long it was before I burst into hysterical laughter, because how could God be 5'8"? And that was like the doubt. I meant I could never commit myself fully to my delusion, because that doubt was a healthy thing in this case. But it also it's sort of plagued me in a lot of ways, because I've doubted my ability to make things happen, and to overcome myself, and to really pursue my recovery. And it's only recently that element of doubt has been basically annihilated.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as we wait for Annette to make her first appearance on Mental Health Warriors this week, we'll carry on, because I know the show will carry on, and I know she will voice her views about all this. Obviously, we'll do a part 2. That's not a problem when technology actually becomes on our side, and here she is.
You're going in, just so you know, Adam, you're going in and out a little bit.
I'm having horrible internet reception here.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Sam, my dog is barking.
Hey, probably a storm's brewing. Because whatever happens in Canada, the UK gets it.
Yeah, yeah. I came up to be closer to my router to see if that would help, but it's not really too much better.
No, it actually makes it worse.
Yeah. So what did I miss?
No, we're just talking about self-doubt.
Oh, yes.
And the inner child. The inner child.
I got to tell you, my inner child was not happy today.
Well, come on, talk to us.
Well, I've been trying to create a banner for my trade show that's coming up in November. Yeah. And I kept requesting in order to have a graphic designer to chat with me. Well, I've been trying for 2 weeks. So of course, when I don't get what I want when I want it,
Don't argue with a woman.
yeah, that's about it. But I had, like you saw my video this morning, I had an amazing morning.
So
What
going off,
what was your morning, Annette?
Oh, I went for a walk, and whenever I go for a walk, I always collect beer cans and beer bottles that I find on the side of the road. And here in Canada, they give you 10 cents for when you return them, right? So I add that to the fundraising monies I do every year for mental health. And the sunrise and the moon was out still, and it was just a beautiful cold morning and fresh, and it gave me like lots of joy, right? And so yeah, my self-care was that this morning, getting out and enjoying the cold, like at 7 o'clock in the morning here. It's really cold.
Yeah.
So, one thing that I was thinking about, thinking about self-belief and everything, is that the dichotomy between like serious mental illness and like the inability to have confidence and to have self-esteem, because for the longest time I just like thought of myself as a schizophrenic mental case, and there's no affirmation you can draw from that. And so I did achieve a lot of things. I graduated from college. I've had my own apartment and everything, but ultimately I wasn't going anywhere until I actually stop saying I was a mental case. And so the story that you tell yourself is very instrumental in how you perceive your self-belief.
Yeah, totally agree.
Absolutely.
I'm going through the same.
Yeah. So from a woman's perspective, what is self-doubt, like being your own self-critic? Because I know there's that saying that, and I think Dale can back me up on this one, is whatever goes wrong with a woman, it's always the bloke's fault.
Oh, I totally don't believe that.
No, neither do I.
No. Through what I've been going through over the years and discovering myself, or the self, my genuine self, the conditioning I had, of course, all of my traumas were created by men, right? Yeah. However, I don't blame them, because their experiences, whether it was male, female, I don't blame the sex. I don't blame anybody, really. It's basically just an awareness that, okay, this happened to me. I created some doubt, some negative self-talk, like Dale points out. And you keep pointing fingers is just not healthy for me, because it just keeps the pattern of the negativity in manifesting.
Well, I'm picking up you made a valid point there about fingers. Now I'm gonna give a shout out to Australian Alan Stevens here, and I know he'll be probably just waking up now, but he's taught me that when you're pointing at someone, yeah, one finger's at them, but three's going back at yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And very little percentage of people actually notice that.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole world revolves around this blaming, right? So as long as you keep blaming your circumstances, you're stuck as a victim in the pattern and keep repeating the same pattern.
Yes.
Right? So every time I think about something like today, my experience with Vistaprint, it's a printing company I'm trying to order my retractable banner from. to blame them for inadequacy and all that kind of stuff, I feel the anger coming up in me. It's almost like a vibration. I can feel my body getting all this anger. And I'm like, okay, Annette, breathe. You're having technical difficulties. They're human. Don't blame anybody for the problem. Find a creative solution. So, I kept at it, and I kept at it, and I kept at it. And finally, I got some help. But, to remain angry, to keep doubting that I can't get this done is only causing me more anxiety.
Yeah. Exactly.
You bring up a very good point in that about the victimhood. I don't know if you've heard about the 4 levels of consciousness, but basically there's to me. The world is doing this to me, which is victim; for me, which is like supportive; by me, which is like taking action, but not necessarily responsibility, but taking action; and then through me, where the universe is just like you become a instrument of flow, and you just like go with that. But the victim mentality is like very prevalent. Well, I won't say very prevalent, but it's like a major influence on people. And ultimately, it's a result of people not taking responsibility for themselves. But the victimhood is, a lot of people are martyrs, and they say, well, this and this happened to me and everything, and I can't do anything. And the victimhood is it stands in the way of like really of any progress or any change, and it's necessary to grow.
Absolutely. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, because
I haven't heard those 4 broken down like that, Dale, but I have done them individually, like myself understanding my own letting go of victimhood, because and it takes such a deep level of awareness of yourself and be open to change, right? So without that openness to set aside your previous mindsets and beliefs and values, I mean, it's a lot of fear, right? So when you come back to the doubt part, or you doubt that a different mindset would change your life. But holy moly, once you let go and you go, okay, let me try a different mindset, your whole world just changes.
Does.
Well, I think the major jump is from to me to for me. The universe isn't doing to me; it's doing for me. And to have that shift in the mindset is like essential to growth and happiness. Actually, and I was like very, very much for a long time at the victim mentality, saying, well, I've been hospitalized 15 times, and this and this happened. But all the time I was doing that, I was also aware that I was doing it to myself. So, ultimately got to take radical responsibility for yourself and say, I'm responsible for my world. And, even if you don't think that you're influencing the greater external reality, you're always influencing the reality that you come into contact with.
Absolutely. And that's brought me up to basically saying, it doesn't matter what your favorite animal is. Like I've learned from Eric Thomas, listening to him, that we've got 2 lions inside us. We've got a positive one and we've got a negative one. Which one comes out the most? It's one you freaking feed the most.
Yeah. Yeah, we say that, but we talk about a wolf.
Right.
We've got our own perceptions, though, aren't we? Yes.
Yeah.
But I meant one thing that I bear in mind is when it comes to self-esteem is built upon self-confidence. And one of the most profound things that I've heard is this guy who named Ed Milet, who's like a giant social media star, and he's all over Instagram and everything, but he says, self-confidence comes from keeping your promises to yourself. I think that's like
Yes.
extremely insightful because, just like on a practical level, I found that, I made a promise to myself that I would go to the gym 3 times a week. And, I've been doing that for the last 2.5 months. I only missed 1 week. 1 week I only went twice, but basically I've been going 3 times a week. And that like has like really like reinforced my ability to make a difference in my life and to not only grow, but also to deal with change because I've been going through a lot of changes too.
I think we all have. But obviously, yeah, because like just the other night, obviously like last night, we almost experienced a blackout. And then night before, Jupiter was in the sky. It was clear as day. Jupiter was there. But that same night, a spider, literally, I was just on camera, and a spider, it was a big spider as well. It came like dangling right behind me down the curtain. I'm like, okay. Like, I don't like spiders at all. Spiritually, they're actually there to send a message to you, to tell you something. So, and then obviously I hosted Warriors of Attraction the other month, which was the 300, I can't remember. But either way, that number, it means change. 555, I think it was. And that means change. So clearly change is coming from all of us. So the question is, what we're manifesting in life.
Yeah. Yeah, I myself, well, you've been following me, Adam. I created Heal, which is helping everyone achieve love. Because I feel that the more I evolve, now one of the biggest things I've always had self-doubt about, but on the flip side, I've also had belief in myself, is that I would one day stop yo-yo dieting. And so creating a public platform where account has shed me.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Pardon?
You was breaking up then.
Oh, I'm sorry. Creating a public platform where people can participate and support me on my journey to stay healthy has
Did you get that, Dale? No. We're losing you again. So it is 31 minutes past 8. We will go for a short break. I'm joking. So it is a crazy one. What's happening? So have you ever been yourself? I know internet's really bad today. I know. I blame Canada because even though they may be celebrating Thanksgiving, they're bringing the bad weather to the universe.
Am I still breaking up?
No, you're perfect now.
No, I'm perfect. Am I?
Yes.
It's difficult when you have technical difficulties like this to hold a conversation because you don't know where you left off.
No, you were talking about your journey in this healing.
No, she was actually talking about setting up a public platform.
Yes.
I have done that.
Yeah, you were talking about it.
Yeah, and I didn't know where I had left off that you could hear me, but that's okay.
About giving people the opportunity to obviously do something.
Well, I like it that I have an interaction with people. So now I have telephone buddies and email buddies and an accountability buddy, and it's changing the way I perceive getting help. Right.
Right.
right? So it's building my self-confidence to reach out to people and say, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and people are giving me feedback that's positive.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that comes to my mind is, by self-doubting, you're really like manifesting the fear of success. Because I mean, this goes along with what you just said about public platform and that. But I had like my coach told me to like just sit silently for 30 minutes at a time. So I tried that, and the first time I did that, the word as soon as I opened my eyes, the word exposure came to my head, and I said, "That's it. That's what I've always feared is exposure," and so that like sort of like helped me to realize that without exposure you can't have success, but without success you can't fulfill yourself. So this idea of like doubt and I'm not worthy enough and everything that comes from the inner child is like part of the fear of success and just being able to put yourself out there and everything.
Mm.
Yeah, putting myself out there is intimidating because there's still remnants in my brain that has those that negative thought of what somebody else thinks of me. And then when I come back to my true self, it's like it doesn't matter what other people think of me. It's how I think of myself, right? So I see myself as successful. I see myself as someone who tries to live up to their integrity and being genuine. It's why I joined, one of the reasons why I joined the Mental Health Warriors, because it's a platform where I can express all the things I've done that I did to do with self-care to maintain and manage my mental health, because it was 12 years ago. Oh boy, it was bad. And people who know me for 20 plus years have seen the turnaround I've done, and I can be very proud of what I've done, because it's not like it's like I rewrote history almost, right? Taking a very ill person and transforming her into a very positive, inspiring person has made me very joyful, have a lot of peace.
I think that's a necessary component. As I talked about, story that you tell about yourself is like essential to your self-image and your self-esteem and your self-belief. And in the last like 6 months, especially to a year, I've been like just turning that story around. I always used to basically have a story that I told about like Dartmouth and thinking I was God and everything. And now I don't even talk about that much anymore. It's much more focused on, but here I am now. I'm a coach for the families of schizophrenics, and I'm looking towards being in the present, looking towards the future. And one of the things I've heard recently that I thought was very good, was very profound, was if you don't let your past die, you kill your future.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, I learned something very important this week, and I'll share it with you guys because it reflects a lot on the cognitive ability to change your thinking. So with mental illnesses, when we get caught up in that loop of, oh, I'm mentally ill, then we put ourselves in a box that gives us sort of the permission to stay in the box. Right. But learning recently that if I just add one word to what I'm telling in my story, so for example, I used to say, I'm a compulsive overeater. So when I was watching one of my YouTube videos from a doctor I follow about, eating healthier and stuff, she says, just change it to say, I was a compulsive
Yeah.
overeater. And your brain starts to rewire as you keep reaffirming that you were something, right? And it has made a huge impact for me. Like, now I can say that I was, meaning no longer I will fall into the victim of being that.
I agree.
And I think you can apply the same premises to any mental illness. Like, look at where Dale is today. I mean, that's amazing. I mean,
He's awesome.
all of us, yeah, all of us have said, oh, I am blah, 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 right? And that I am is so powerful that we believe it, right? So if you say, I am stupid, then you believe you're stupid. If you say, I am successful, then you will be successful.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is another thing that I like to explore, is the degree to which the labels that you put on yourself define your identity. And it's very important for me as a person with schizophrenia to say, I mean, for the longest time I would just say I'm a schizophrenic and leave it at that, and no excuses, and I would play into that identity. But recently, someone pointed out, you don't say you're schizophrenic because that means you're identifying your whole personality with that illness. But instead, you say, I'm a person with schizophrenia, or I have schizophrenia. And that's like a semantic difference that makes like 1,000% difference, because it means that the illness is like just one part of you instead of enveloping your whole personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
sorry, go ahead, Adam.
Well, thinking about that, this is what I've learned is I've got PTSD, depression, trauma, you name it. But thinking about it logically, do we really have these labels attached to us? And if so, why are we letting these labels impact our self-identity, take over our self-identity? So really, right now, sitting here, even though I'm acting like a robot right now, all I see is Dale Walsh and Annette Chiappe. I don't see the labels attached to that, because we've all got one thing in common. We're human. Yes. So why should we let these labels, whether it's schizophrenia, psychosis, trauma, whatever, why do we need to brand ourselves with these?
Yeah. And I too I say had, and then I also say manage, because it's a very rare occasion when I get triggered from something from my past, PTSD, right? So I say that I got through it. I don't say I am a sufferer of PTSD, because then I would be reverting back to struggling with the traumas from the past. I've put the past in the past, right? And when we start taking those necessary steps to put the past in the past and leave it there, you can visit it. There's nothing wrong with visiting it, as long as you recognize that it's something from the past, right? And not allow it to trigger you. So there is maybe, like I've registered to go to a wellness retreat, a silent retreat for 10 days. And they have an application process, and I filled out all the information about my previous history with mental illness, because being silent, like Dale was explaining for that half hour, your brain is just going tickety, 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 tickety.
Yeah,
and they need to know that you're of sound mind, that they won't have to, call an ambulance to come get you. Because you're there, and you're supposed to be there for the 10 days. No TV, no phone, no nothing. So I want to do this so that I can continue my transformation, right? And am I scared? Not at all. I am so looking forward to this, because I think it will improve my mental health. And, people that don't practice meditation, I believe everybody who has mental health issues should be practicing some form of meditation or mindfulness. and it would improve our lives.
Well, it goes back to that mental health, and I know you already know Annette, but this is what I said on Lorraine Harris's show. It's like, do we really have mental health issues? Like, we keep going round saying, oh, everyone's got mental health. We've all got mental health. No, we don't. Because mental health, that's our mindset, and that's living there. When we're saying mental health issues, mental health this, mental health that, that's us telling our subconscious mind. It's there. It's living in our minds, rent free. Get rid of it. Live your life.
Yeah, that's easier said than done a lot of times. Because in my own case, I was hospitalized after Dartmouth, and then I went to a psychiatric living program for 5.5 years, and that was like just like mental health, mental illness, whatever you want to call it. It was just like reinforced every day. I'm in this special program. I got hospitalized 9 times when I was there, and it's just like it's one thing to say just walk away from it, but when it's like in your face constantly, and you're constantly confronted with the fact that you're abnormal, or have a chemical imbalance, or anything, whatever you want to call it, it's like very hard to just like that's why I feel that it resonated with me so long. It's just like I was programmed. I had like 3 sessions a week. I had 2 group sessions a week, and all we did was talk about mental illness, and that's why I'd go to the hospital. I just like go nuts because there was such a focus on mental illness that I couldn't take it. So I just like go to the hospital and meet new people, and they love me at the hospital and everything. But I am, and it's taken me like basically 30 years to like really get out of that mindset where I'm a schizophrenic.
Yeah. What you're explaining there, Dale, if I could like literally make a movie of my life, and I could see myself from being 5. Now, I did this when I was in therapy. And they take you back to being like a younger age, and then as you grow older, and then you're a young adult, and then you're in your mid-30s, your 40s, and watching in my brain, like going back in my brain and watching that unfold, it's almost like literally watching a movie of someone else, because when you're in literally maybe not in is the correct word, but while you're going through and living with your mind not functioning with your heart and your spirit, literally that's for me when I'm mentally ill, there's something I'm sad about, something that is hurting me, that I'm thinking about. And that's what I believe mental illness is. It's a lack of love. It's a lack of awareness of the self. Because if you're sad, which I was really sad, and I was really angry when I was going through what I went through. But it was like living life in that. It was like a quagmire of you're stuck in quicksand and you don't know how to get out, right? So then you start applying the tools of mindfulness, the tools of therapy, the tools you get from reading spiritual literature. And all of those things change the narrative of the movie, right? So it's no longer you're mentally ill, you're mentally aware of something that's making you sad, mad, fearful, whatever the case may be. And that's how I see mental illness, right? It's there to wake us up, to remove those negative things from our lives so that we can have a positive filled life. Now, it's not always going to be perfect, of course. Today I got angry with the Vistaprint. But it's like I recognize that in myself. I'm like, I'm getting angry. Why am I getting angry? Am I going to make myself sad, depressed, and continue this story? No, I just let it go. How important can it possibly be?
Well, I think you make a very good point in that, you know, in anybody, and especially in the mentally, I don't know what to call mentally ill. I just call it mentally. I actually call it psychic affect. But if you have psychic affect, then you know you have to be, in order to begin the road to recovery. You have to have self-awareness. That's like the first like step. And I just want to throw this in, which is mental illness. If you change I to we, then mental illness becomes mental wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll notice when I'm promoting everything, it's about mental wellness. I believe in mental wellness for everyone, right? And the boyfriend is doing funny things to make me laugh while I'm on camera. Go away. And you know, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's like, yes, we have some people that are born with a chemical imbalance, and they definitely need to be on some sort of antipsychotic or antidepressant. But I don't think that means that we should love them any less and treat them any differently than we would somebody who's not going through mental illness. Mental illness is not, and that's part of ending the stigma, is not about putting that label on that person and that they're that way indefinitely. Right?
Right.
It's about acknowledging that somebody's ill. Okay, you get COVID and you say, oh, that person's ill. Somebody has something wrong mentally in the moment. Oh, that person has a mental illness. But it's only temporary. You don't have to remain mentally ill.
I think you also have to have an awareness and you know, an awareness that you are going through a mental aberration in your head. So I mean, I think recovery begins with self-awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's going to look different for everybody, right? Like
Right.
Sometimes it manifests in depression. Other times it manifests in anxiety. Other times it manifests in self-harm. You know, we've had many topics and shows on various areas of mental illness, and each one is unique because we're unique.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So
We could dive into this further, can't we?
You've been uncharacteristically silent for a little while, Adam. So what do you think about all this?
I just think it's all in our mindset, and yes, mindset can be a difficult thing. It is mental illness or health, whatever you want to call it. It can either be your best friend or it can be your worst enemy. I've seen both sides, but it's all about how you respond to that situation. And it's you can't change the past. You can't change the past. But what you can change is the here and now. And that is progressing. Take me, for example. 2019, I attempted suicide. 2022, I'm on my journey to get my PhD. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, she's breaking up again. Oh, she's gone. She's gone. We have.
I agree, Adam. I just, but you know, a lot of people not only do they lack self-awareness, but also they're so caught up in the trauma of their story that they can't let it go.
Exactly, and that's when the support comes in, and that's exactly what we at the Mental Health Warriors do. We help people. We don't give advice, but we help them to focus on their own mindset in community, because that's what it's all about. It's all about communicating with their own sub and conscious mind.
Right.
Right. It's all about communication.
You're back in that. Not really.
You know, I'm going to start acting like Annette. See? We're not all serious. We're humorous as well.
Right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll wrap up because we've had a really mixed feelings of a show. Both positive and negative, shall I say. Negative is the tech issues, of course. So, and that's my prime example. But no, I'm not kicking her out, by the way. But any last words, Dale?
Just you know, don't be afraid to admit the need for help, and also you know, try, if everybody in your world is saying there's something wrong, then take it. Yeah, at least like consider it as a possibility. You know, I mean, I'm not saying you have to say I am a schizophrenic or I'm mentally ill or anything, but just like be open to considering what your loved ones say, because you know, I know from my own experience, sometimes it's very hard to like hear people say stuff that you don't want to hear, but ultimately you have to make your own decision, but you can take into account the counsel and the words of other people you love.
Absolutely. Right. Breaking news, guys. I'm not back now until Wednesday when I hop on to Kerry's show, because that's it. My hosting duties are over until next week. But Daly's back tomorrow.
I'm back tomorrow with Straight, Sane, and Sober, and then I'm on Annette's show at 1 o'clock on Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern time.
Exactly. So there you go. So yeah, let's do it.
And tomorrow, if I could, tomorrow I'm going to go over the steps of my Live Love coaching program. So I'll be solo, and I'll try to be short and brief, but I just want to like you know, give an expose of what my coaching program is all about, so people can get a better idea. And I think Live Love was a stroke of genius I came up with, and I'm very proud of it.
Absolutely. This is why I love this man. He's awesome. Right. Anyway, I love you all. Please tune in as usual. Please share this all, because we need this sharing. We're also on Spotify, so please go and find us on Spotify, and we will see you tomorrow. See you later.
Bye.